Let me ask you something. If Tiger wasn't from Ohio, would you be high on Tiger?
Great question. It's a very tough question for me to answer, mate. You know, it's a, it's a, how am I supposed look, to be fully transparent with you? Um, I don't know, man. I don't, probably not, you know? And I got to be honest with you too. In terms of um who I'm a bigger fan of, you might not believe me. I like Nick Flaz. I'm a fan of Nick Flaz, but watching the tape, watching the evolution, you know, I got somebody in my ear as well out of Ohio who's talking about Tiger's new coach. He fired Bernice Prentice, so he has a new camp. No one's talked. He hasn't really made that public yet. And
I thought his camp, maybe I heard his camp was the same. He just fired his head coach.
Fired his head coach.
But same camp. So I don't even know if he has a new trainer, but he fired his head coach. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like when fighters coming off wins make changes. So there's a lot of little things, but it's a valid question. Maybe I'm a bit Ohio based, but good question.
Everything his coach was saying in the Boca Chica fight, because I saw what his coach was saying, to let his hands go more, because that fight, I mean, they were averaging like 10 punches landed around. It looked like a sparring match, really, between Boca Chica, who, in my opinion, was somewhat of a washed-up version of himself. He was coming off the loss to Quentin Randall. Before that, he had gotten absolutely washed by Romain Villa. Romain Villa beat him from pillar to post. Like, that fight should have been stopped. And, of course, we have the fight with Boca Chica versus Nicholas Flaz. And I think that's why the odds opened how they did. They have a common opponent here. And Flaz got caught early, first round. And, you know, I say this to people, too. Boca Chica can crack. He's most dangerous early. If people remember, this isn't on BoxRec, but if anyone watched Boca Chica fight Brian Norman Jr., Brian Norman Jr. was almost out in the first round. That fight probably could have been stopped. He could have had a first-round knockout over Brian Norman Jr. Does that just mean we throw away Brian Norman Jr. here? Brian Norman Jr. survived and made it, and then that fight eventually got stopped due to cuts like 2 rounds later. But he had floored Brian Norman Jr. badly. Like, Boca Chica has power, so I can't read too much into that first-round knockout. What I'm reading into is his evolution in the fights afterwards for Flaz, right? For Flaz's his opponents. He's been matched very tough. I think his resume, you know, a lot of names don't stick out to people, but for me, the names of Brian Savoya, Jahai Tucker, and especially Luke Santamaria. Luke Santamaria is a dog, man. To dominate Luke Santamaria like he did, you have to be on somewhat of a world-class level. Luke Santamaria, if you guys rate Jesus Ramos Jr., like, he was extremely competitive with Jesus Ramos Jr. I'm talking extremely competitive. If you guys rate Jesus Ramos Jr., then let me tell you something. Flaz won every minute of that round against Luke Santamaria. Beat him and stopped him. So this is all comparison. Like, you got to compare how other fighters look against this fighter. That's what I'm doing.
What style does Luke fight at? What's Luke Santamaria's style?
He's a pressure fighter.
Okay, what's Tiger's style?
He's a boxer.
Yeah, so my point is, you know what I mean? Nick wants a certain style. Nick feeds on certain styles. And, you know, he's going to have a problem with Tiger.
Great point. And, Johnny, to that point, what style, when has Tiger been in trouble?
Bro, what?
Pressure. No, I just want to say, like, pressure's his kryptonite, though. Like, you watch the Jamir Espinosa at 140, that's only an 8-round fight. 10 rounds, he loses that fight. Yomar Alamo, only 8-round fight. 10 rounds, Tiger loses that fight. Just watch the rounds from 6 to 8. 6, 7, and 8. In both those fights, he's hanging on. He's hurt in both those fights. He's hanging on. And, like, those are 140-pound fighters. Alamo and Jamir Espinosa, like, they're not anywhere near the level of Flaz. But they were able to eventually break distance and make it their type of fight, which is an inside fight. And for me, Tiger's uncomfortable on the inside. Tiger's got a great jab, and for him to win this fight, he has to break the rhythm of Flaz, right? He's going to have to break the rhythm, use his jab, create space and distance, and rack up the rounds. But Tiger's got low output for me. He's not a high output fighter. And now you have to ask yourself, is he going to do this for 6 rounds? Do you think Tiger can win 6 rounds breaking up the rhythm of Flaz? Or do you think it's more plausible that Flaz is going to break up the distance and win 6 rounds dictating his style of fight? So I see why it's 50-50 because you got two clashing styles here.
Yeah, I see. I really think that me personally, I'm looking at Tiger Johnson here as just how I looked at Richardson Hitchens going into the George fight. I think what Tiger's missing is that sort of matchup to where we get to see him being challenged and tested. He's confident enough to bring out all these tools and skills that people have been with him since the amateurs. They all know that he has. I think he's going to have the speed advantage. I like his backhand. I don't like Nick's movement on coming in and out. And dude, I wouldn't be shocked if Tiger dominates him. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing here, man. I think people are sleeping on how good Tiger Johnson is.
Okay. I can't even mention Tiger's name in the same with Africa Hitchens.
Yeah,
let me.
I'm not comparing the two. I'm comparing though. Think about the zeitgeist. But think about the zeitgeist of the boxing fandom before that fight. Everybody, we knew how good Richardson was, but people would sleep on him, and because he didn't have that moment, he has that moment. World champion now, and was a champion.
But he did have that moment. I picked him to beat Liam Paro. He became a world champion.
I'm talking the viral moment. I'm talking the viral moment, which then breaks through the zeitgeist of the boxing casual. You know what I mean? He didn't have his on the ropes moment. He didn't have that standing in the crowd moment that helps take a fighter to that next level. He ended up getting that moment. I feel Tiger is missing that, and I feel he's going to have that moment against Flaz. That's all I'm saying.
Thought, though, like insiders of boxing fans all thought, you including, knew that Hitchens, very, very good fighter, underrated fighter. His boxing skills, and this is just a comparison here. Hitchens versus Omar Alamo won every minute of the round, beat Alamo up, and then Alamo actually had to retire in his corner. That's how bad of a beating Hitchens gave. Now let's go to Tiger versus Alamo. I was at that fight. Tiger was competitive the first 4 rounds. After the 4th, was on survival mode, was getting beat to the body. Alamo was getting stronger and then won the back half of that fight. And like I said, if it was a 10-round fight, Tiger would have lost. And this is only 3 fights ago. So, that's the difference between Hitchens goes in, dominates, and stops Alamo. Tiger goes in and looks suspect against Alamo, And now that was at 140. Now we're at 147. These are big guys. Tiger was the big guy at 140. He always had he was always doing catch weights at 140. Top Rank had him as the big guy. He was always the bully. But now he's in guys that are cracking at 147. I mean, Flaz was fighting above 147. Flaz is going to be the bigger guy in the ring. So this is what I think there's a lot of, and plus he's the A side. You can say that he's the pro box fighter. It's going to be on neutral ground, but Flaz is the A side. I'm just seeing a hard time of Tiger being able to keep Flaz off of him, just because the tape tells me he hasn't been able to keep lesser guys off of him. So once Flaz is on the inside, what's Tiger gonna do? Clinch 100 times?
I think that you guys are what I'm seeing is Tiger's going to be bigger at 147. He's longer at 147. Flaz is not that big. He's a bit small, and I think that Tiger's going to use that size for his advantage. I think he's going to have more power at 47. He's getting used to that. Stops Castaneda in his first output at 47. Castaneda's record is not remarkable, but people in the know how tough he is. His next fight wins the decision. I see a confident 27-year-old. I'm more comfortable with this pick, Tiger beating Flaz, than I'm sold on this one, man. I'm waiting till tomorrow till the odds keep going towards Nick. So I like how you're talking about Nick, because that means more money's going to come on Nick, which will make my bet a little bit heavier. I love it, dude. I think Tiger shines. I think Tiger shines against Nick, man. I think it's a perfect matchup for him. I love his timing on his backhand, his hand speed. I love his 1-2 countering. Dude, this is a good fight. I like it. And let's Adu, you have time to catch. Let's go, Adu. Let's go. TJ, how was the trip to so you're back in the stateside, right?
No, I'm trying to get tickets tomorrow. My whole family got the flu. I'm the only one that survived.
Shit, dude. While I got you here, I do want to ask you. This is why I love the chat, and I love the community, because we don't have to agree on everything, and we could do it with an educated perspective, right? Nobody's getting emotional. If you don't mind, because I'm currently taping David Stevens.